It's far too easy to get confused and bogged down by all the different types of logical reasoning questions. So today I'm going to share with you how I simplified logical reasoning for myself and improved my LSAT score by over 20 points. For those who don't know me, my name is Steve Schwartz. I've been teaching the LSAT since 2005, and I personally increased my LSAT score from a 152 to a 175. Now, back when I was studying for the LSAT, I was using these massive phone book sized LSAT prep textbooks, categorizing and over categorizing 15 plus different types of LSAT logical reasoning questions. It was a major slog for me. I had a hard time getting through those. And my real breakthroughs on logical reasoning came when I realized that it wasn't just about the LSAT question type that they're categorizing by in the question stem. If I instead focused on the method of reasoning in the stimulus, if I actually took the time to understand the argument, I improved my LSAT score far more because, surprise, surprise, if you actually take the time to understand what you're reading, the question and the answer choices in particular become a whole lot easier. You can then determine what makes the wrong answer choice tempting, what ultimately makes it wrong, what makes the right answer choice unappealing, and what ultimately makes it correct. Because you have these traps of encouragement towards the wrong answer and traps of discouragement away from the right answer. And until you understand which tricks and traps you personally are uniquely prone to falling for, you can't help but make the same mistakes again and again, which is why at LSAT Unplugged, as part of the Socratic review method, we help you drill down into exactly what your mistakes you're making and why, whether it's misunderstanding something in the stimulus, meaning the argument, whether it's something in the question stem, or whether it's in the answer choices, what makes the wrong answer choices tempting for you, what ultimately makes them wrong, what makes the right answer unappealing for you, and what ultimately makes it right. Because there are going to be patterns in the mistakes that you're making. And so if we drill down, if we slow down and make sure you understand which mistakes you're prone to making and why, you can then avoid them next time around. And that's what leads our students to get those big score increases. And so if you're interested in finding out more, you can check out the links below to book a call with me and my team. We'd be glad to help you out. We offer live, private, one-on-one coaching, on-demand video courses, and small group coaching sessions. Again, links below to book a call with me and my team. We'd be glad to help you out. Now, of course, this approach is regardless of the question stem type. There are a lot of different types of logical reasoning questions, some more common than others. And so if you are one of those people who is big on the analytics, big on drilling questions by type, you may want to look to see if there are any patterns there, whether they're in the more common question types or the less common question types. We typically recommend focusing more on the types that are more common because, of course, that's going to get you a bigger boost in your score if you can make any course corrections in those areas. The three most common types of logical reasoning questions are necessary assumption, inference, and flaw. And so if you don't yet have the basics down on those, I recommend starting there before dealing with the less common question types and certainly saving the most rare ones for last, like evaluate the argument or parallel reasoning. I know everybody hates parallel reasoning questions and they are a bit more time consuming just because they're wordier, but there's only one or two of those per section. So we recommend focusing more on what's going to get you a bigger bang for your buck, like necessary assumption, inference, or flaw. And prior to that, we want to make sure that you're crystal clear on conditional indicator words for necessary and sufficient conditions, indicator words for evidence versus conclusion, because these will carry you far regardless of the question type. And if you don't know them, of course, you're in major trouble. There's still plenty of time to master those before the LSAT, whenever you're taking it. And of course, you want to focus a lot more on logical reasoning than on reading comp, since logical reasoning is now 2/3 of the test. Now, I want to share with you 3 quick wins for logical reasoning that you can implement right away whenever you're taking the LSAT. You want to make sure that you're crystal clear on the difference between necessary assumption questions and sufficient assumption questions. Some prep companies lump them together under the catch-all category of assumption, which is a huge mistake because they are asking for very different things. You also want to make sure that you are clear on the distinction between must-be true questions and most strongly supported questions. We could categorize them under the umbrella category of inference questions, but there is a small difference between the two. Must be true questions, you want 100% certainty, whereas for most strongly supported, there is a little bit of wiggle room whereby the stimulus does not need to 100% guarantee the correct answer. You also want to make sure that you're clear on the distinction between weakened questions and flaw questions. Flaw questions are asking you to simply ID a gap in the argument, whereas weakened questions are asking you to expose the gap a little bit, but do not necessarily require that you destroy the argument completely. Anyway, folks, that's all for now. Feel free to reach out if I can help in any way. And in the meantime, I'll wish you all the best and take care.